Hi Aries, welcome to your end of February 2019 tarot update. It's Rena here. So Aries, how have things been going for you in the month of February? I was just reading about how Mars is going into Taurus, I think today. And I was like, oh, wow, well, that explains everything, because I wasn't even paying attention. And Mars and Aries, definitely that sense of, aggression. Mars in its own sign. So maybe for you, I wonder, what it's been like. Okay, I'm going to do it the way... this is what happens when you do different spreads and you get confused about which one you're doing. Okay. The heart of the matter is the Six of Cups. This is the soulmate card. This card connects to Cancer. It's also the card of being sentimental, nostalgic about your past. So this is why they show children, because it can be like childhood, idyllic times. Everything was so great. Feeling, maybe for some people you're reconnecting with childhood pals. It doesn't have to be like romantic, but it could be, because like I say, this is the soulmate card. And this is also the card of children themselves. So if you have children, and maybe even adult children, this could be you involved with your children for some reason. In the past position here, we do have the Ten of Pentacles. This is the inheritance card. So for some reason, this may be coming up. Let's see astrologically if there's anything afoot with your 8th house in Scorpio. I can't think of anything happening there, but there is going to be a full moon there in May. So maybe right now there is some kind of discussion about family resources, and maybe you're making out a will and you're thinking, okay, who do I give what to whom, and that's kind of like part of your mind. But it could be that there's a family business. The Ten of Pentacles can be a family business, and you might be trying to enlist your children or what have you. The other thing that could be happening here is that you have been with an earth sign, and this soulmate is somebody that is kind of coming back into your life. Especially in March, when we have the Mercury retrograde, you might hear from someone from your past, or somebody you haven't heard from in a long time. But, maybe during the shadow period, that could also come into play. One thing that I want to also note is that when I see the Six of Cups, I even think of things that you've always wanted to do, maybe since you were a kid. And you might say, I'm turning my back on this lucrative career because I've already made my money. I've already kind of done what I needed to do there. And now I want to do what I have always wanted to do. And because we do have a card here as advice, and this is the Eight of Pentacles, and this is a card of like really perfecting your craft. So it's very interesting because I write, okay? And I was reading this woman who's like kind of like a blog and a YouTube channel about writing, and some people, they really just keep upping their skills. Even if they publish books or self-publish, they just keep going. They don't stop learning. They don't rest on their laurels, even if they get some success, I would think. I mean, I'm sure there are people in every field who just want to be the best they can be in their field. And with the Eight of Pentacles, it's like practice makes perfect, right? So the Eight of Pentacles means you might be undergoing some kind of training or apprenticeship program where you can apply get hands-on knowledge or experience in whatever this thing is that you wanted to do. And, do what you want to do. And be happy sharing your gifts with others, For some reason, I was thinking of like a carpenter or some kind of craftsmanship. Maybe just because I'm looking at that card. But I could see even that manual dexterity, using that for what you do. But it could apply to just about anything. What crosses you is represented by the King of Wands. So I'm reading this in the challenging kind of a slant to it or position, reversed position. The King of Wands, now that I think of Aries as this person. Now what I would say, like this individual, when he's reversed, can be bullying, autocratic, and things like that. Now, how does this relate to what I'm talking about? I feel as if you're doing something that is new to you, where you feel like you kind of are a student rather than an expert, you have to be able to be humble about that. You have to be open to learning. You may feel a little bit awkward because you may be used to calling the shots like maybe you were a boss yourself and now you're in the position of having to be an underling, having to be in this vulnerable position. And it might not feel natural to you, but you can find so much. I think that when you put yourself in a different place like that, it can be so expansive for you. So don't feel like you've lost power because you are starting all over, maybe in a new area, and you have a lot to learn. Treat it like an adventure, because you are an adventurous sign, and you can just have a lot of fun with it. If there is some kind of romantic situation happening, maybe rekindling a love with somebody, the one that got away, somebody from your past, don't become controlling, okay? The Eight of Pentacles can mean there's a lot of work that needs to be done in terms of reestablishing that connection. Yeah, I have experienced this firsthand, not with a romantic partner, with just like an old friend from long, long ago, that we were different people than we were when we were 10, reuniting when we were close, like 40. So many years had passed, or longer than that. And so we had to see each other as we are now, not as we remembered ourselves at the age of 10. I mean, it was just like, it was a mind-blowing experience to reconnect with somebody after so many years, because I never thought that I would, and just the way that it happened. And it really made me aware that you can't step in the same river twice. The river is always changing. We are always changing as individuals. And so if you have this fantasy of how your relationship was with your high school sweetheart and you rekindle a relationship, it can't be the same. You have too much history between the two of you. And that's what the Eight of Pentacles is all about. It's about integrating your experiences with who you are now to see if you really are soulmates, to see if you really are compatible. And if it's not just nostalgia taking over and being this kind of like romantic, yet very nebulous energy that is that kind of sweeps you away, but isn't necessarily what it's all about in terms of, you know, the two of you and who you are now. And the King of Wands in reverse may be somebody who is demanding, wants everything now, you know, that Aries impatience, and wants things your own way. And you have to be willing to be flexible. It's not so much that you're not flexible, but accommodating, I think, is a better way of putting it. What is coming in is represented by the Devil card. The Devil card is about lust, but it's not just about sexual lust. It's about lust for materialism. It can be like an addictive thing that keeps you ensnared in a certain behavior and obsession, or compulsion maybe, and you feel like trapped. Now, this is a card that connects to Capricorn. So as I told you before, and I really think that the Ten of Pentacles must be Capricorn, because the 10th house is ruled by Capricorn and Pentacles are Earth. But I still haven't looked that up. I always say I'm going to look things up and then I never do. But it's definitely Earth energy. And this is, you know, the Devil's got a pentacle too here. And it represents, I'm assuming, you know, that it's like, because it's also, I think it might be like gold coins, isn't it? I'm not sure, but just the idea of the material, like how much is that, does that take over a person's desires? The material side of life. Okay. Oh, you know, I didn't even think about this. Look at these two strange bedfellows. The High Priestess and the Devil. Oh my goodness, you know. It's like, you know, you've ever seen those illustrations and they show the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other shoulder. And so who's going to win out, you know? Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is the libido, the sex drive. So Aries people sometimes will, you know, pair up with somebody, and they might not even like understand how much of their attraction to somebody is physical rather than spiritual. And then they scratch their heads and like, wow, how come my relationships are so short-lived? Or why do I get tired of somebody right away? Which is another common thing with Aries, is just to want that novelty. But you know what? If you meet somebody that's endlessly fascinating to you, you won't have that desire to just like go from one person to the next. And yet it's not that easy just to meet somebody that fulfills that. So with the Devil card, look at, you know, how your desires shape your life. Aries. So with the Ten of Pentacles, you may have had a lucrative career, but you've always, you know, held something dear in your heart for many, many years that you wanted to do, but you kind of like got off track because maybe you got addicted to the money. And so this is simply reiterating what I had said earlier. When you get the Devil card, it's like, are you going to banish that devil? I don't believe that there is such a thing as the devil. I think what happens is that we personify things, you know, that are really part of ourselves, you know, the good and the evil. And when you know, it was kind of like that old, you know, that old sketch, you know, the devil made me do it, because it's like you can blame somebody outside of yourself for what's really inside of you. So look at those areas, because those are going to be the areas that trip you up. They keep you in that prison and keep you from true growth. And you know, even like with the Six of Cups, that could threaten a relationship, because it may not be something that is going to be overtly sexual. You know, this relationship, if it's a soulmate relationship, it's going to encompass a lot more than that. And if you're used to relationships that are much more sensual in nature, you may get impatient. You may think that it's not unfolding the way you want it to. And then you might throw something away or undervalue it. And don't do that, to say the least. The outcome is the High Priestess, getting in touch with your higher self, your intuition. Also being passive. You're an aggressive sign. This is a card of be still and know. And also it's not taking. This is like a card that does not suggest taking action of an aggressive nature, but simply allowing, the art of allowing, of not having to try to control everything in life. And if it's meant to be, it will come to you. You know, that's what we say about soulmates. If they're really meant for you, you can't not be with them. I don't feel. And, you know, that's just an opinion I've developed, and I just think that nothing that is in our destiny is ever prevented from us. And let me think here. Yeah, it's interesting because when I said destiny, I was thinking of North Node. And when I was thinking of North Node, I'm talking about transits. When I was thinking of North Node transits, I was thinking of Cancer because that's where the North Node is right now. Then I was thinking about what house it is for you, which is the 4th house of home and family. So the transiting North Node is in your 4th house. And the 4th house is also your childhood. Okay, so it's your past. I would say it's your hometown. So where you grew up. And maybe that's also coming into play for some of you, that you want to reconnect with your roots. Maybe you want to move back to that area. Or again, if this is somebody from your past, that could be, it could be meant for you to reconnect with them. The transiting North Node can indicate, you know, these times, your date with destiny in a certain area of life that the chart represents. So, yeah, and like I said, the 6 of Cups relates to Cancer, so it's all connected, right? Okay, Aries, that's what I have for you. So if you'd like a personalized reading, please check me out. My website link is below. Take care. Bye.